Did Elon Musk have your support in putting USAID into the wood chipper?
Well, I don't think that's a X post, or I guess you're imagining a social media post, is not a government act.
Not at all. That's a quote. That's what he said.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, that's what he said, but that's not ultimately what happened as acting director. Is all these decisions
Did his actions have your full support?
The ones that I signed off on, yes, which is the ones that
Of
happened.
what Elon Musk did with USAID?
No, but understand, these are contracts. All these
Did he do it
contracts.
without or with your support? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, not with my support, it was my actions.
His Doge team did a lot of cancellations very, very quickly, and it fired a lot of people. It wasn't clear to me whether that had your support or not.
The Doge team didn't do anything. I did it. I was the one that made the decisions. I went through contracts, literally spreadsheets, line by line. I remember being in a hotel, I believe in Guatemala, going through line by line on spreadsheets of contracts that were canceled, contracts that were approved, contracts that were amended. These are all contracts.
So in that case, I'll put the responsibility with you, since you're taking credit for it rather than with Elon Musk.
This is not your average Senate hearing. What you're about to witness is a fiery confrontation between Senator Jeff Merkley and Secretary of State Marco Rubio that shook Capitol Hill. Merkley accuses Rubio of actions that may have led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of children worldwide. Visa crackdowns. Foreign aid slashed. The fallout? Catastrophic if Merkley's sources are right. Hit that subscribe button, then came the bombshell. Merkley turned to what he called the USAID destruction weekend. Merkley accused the administration of unilaterally slashing global aid programs without Congress, without consultation, and without legal process. Rubio pushed back. He said, "Musk didn't do it. I did." And he claims every contract was reviewed by hand. This is about global health diplomacy and who gets to decide who lives or dies.
A school of public health has a kind of a website where they post their estimated deaths as a result of the actions that were taken to dismantle USAID. As of today, they estimate that the actions taken in putting USAID in the wood chipper, child malnutrition, 53,500 more deaths, and I'm rounding off because the numbers are continuously changing. Child diarrhea, 45,400 more deaths. Child pneumonia, 59,200 more deaths. Malaria, 25,100 more deaths. So what happened that weekend has resulted in the death of hundreds of thousands of children, and the estimate for the end of this year is much, much higher. This happened because the law was not followed for consultation with Congress, analysis, bringing in experts, holding hearings. How do you kind of accept what you just put forward, that it was your action to cancel these contracts? Your contracts in this fashion, freezing fund, firing individuals, has resulted in the death of hundreds of thousands of children.
That's false. That's fake. That's just not true. That's a study based on if we canceled every one of these programs permanently. Okay, and I'm reading it right here because I'm glad you brought it up. It assumes a near total freeze in U.S. foreign aid for HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other diseases. There is not a total freeze. 85% of PEPFAR recipients are receiving their care right now. But the numbers you're saying, those aren't real numbers. I understand that's what the school said in the worst case dramatic scenario. And even then, I think it's exaggerated. But there's just no evidence of the fact that, I don't remember what the numbers are, 100,000 children have starved to death in the last 4 months because the United States made reductions to USAID. Well, that first of all is pretty atrocious. That would mean that nobody else in the world is doing anything. We're taking care of the entire planet?
What do you think, fear-mongering or facts? Let us know below. Rubio posed a provocative question. Are we saying that, unless the United States funds these programs forever, millions will die? His argument, the global burden shouldn't rest solely on America. But Merkley and experts argue that without American infrastructure and funding, these programs collapse. It's a classic debate, global leadership vs. domestic prioritization. Whether you side with Merkley or Rubio, one thing is clear: these decisions carry massive weight, affecting lives across the globe. Is it about national interest, budget control, or a silent humanitarian crisis? This Senate exchange pulled back the curtain, and now it's up to all of us to ask the tough questions. Subscribe for more unfiltered political analysis, accountability journalism, and the truth behind the headlines. See you in the next one.